Hey, it's Rob. Welcome to Access Garage. Today we're out here trying to fix Amanda's Jeep. Now, what she had going on was she would lose her power steering fluid, and it was slow. It would take 2-3 weeks. We'd fill it up, 2-3 weeks of driving or sitting, and it would be gone. And when you look in the engine compartment, there's a mess of power steering fluid everywhere because it was actually going into the fan shroud housing and getting sprayed all over, and it was actually leaking out on the passenger side. So it was pretty hard to determine where it was coming from. So we cleaned everything off, gunked the engine down, found where it was coming from, which was her power steering reservoir. When we pulled it up, we noticed there was a bead of silicone on it, probably a previous repair from a previous owner, and that repair let go, and now it's slowly leaking fluid out, making a mess, and making the car unreliable to drive. So we're going to try to use our plastic welding kit that we bought on Amazon in a video, in a previous video, and we're going to see if we can use that to fix her reservoir instead of just doing the easy thing of buying a new reservoir. But let's get into it. All right, so right here is the power steering reservoir. There is 2 lines that go to it. They are low pressure lines, and this little tab here, you can either pop out all the way or just bend out of the way, and it'll cause the reservoir to separate from the fan shroud. And you can see right there, there's the silicone, and that's what's not holding the fluid in anymore, and it's slowly leaking out. So the reservoir should be mostly empty, and we purposely let it leak out to the point where we really couldn't use the car because the power steering was screaming so much, so that we make less of a mess when we take this off, because once you take these hoses off, anything that's in the reservoir is going to leak out. So we'll loosen the 2 hose clamps. Alright, we got the big hose off. Now we're just trying to work on this little hose. We are making a little bit of a mess from the residual fluid that was left in the reservoir. Okay, we're going to drain out that residual fluid, and then I'm going to bring this into the sink, don't tell my wife, and we are going to wash it thoroughly with some Dawn dish soap to degrease it so we can get this off and make sure it's clean for the plastic weld to it here. Alright, so when I first started to chisel off the silicone that was on there, it was real tough to get off, so I had to grind it off with a Dremel and a little sanding wheel. And then once I got it all off, it exposed this here hole in the bottom. You see that hole, Robbie? Alright, so that's what they had on there for the silicone to cover. And after seeing that hole and how big it was, I said, well, what could this thing be? Maybe 20 bucks or so? So I went online to try to find one of them, and of course they are not available. And used ones on eBay are going from anywhere from 80 bucks to $110. So we're going to give it a shot. I was kind of confused between whether we should do this, the plastic weld, or Flex Seal. I was thinking of putting a dab of the Flex glue there and then covering it with Flex tape, but it's kind of a weird spot. So I'm going to try to do a little plastic weld. What my game plan is going to be is to get some plastic on there. This has been washed out. I did wash it out with Dawn so that there's no oil on it. So my plan is to get a little plastic down, keep it hot, and then put a little of the wire mesh in there. And the wire mesh is just to bridge that gap. So I'm going to try to just go right over it with the wire mesh. And then get as much plastic on there as smooth as possible, maybe smooth it out with the Dremel, and we'll go from there and see what happens. So with this plastic welder, I'll put a link to it in the description below. It was an Amazon purchase, and we used it a few times, and it worked out really, really good. My concern here is I don't know how fluid tight I'm going to be able to make it. But we'll see. If the plastic sticks to it, we should be okay. Now, if I could get the plastic that I put on there hot enough, mesh will stick. Not the prettiest looking repair, but you're not going to see it because this is mounted right up against the fan shroud, so you'll never know it's there. And hopefully we got enough material on there. Where it won't leak. We're going to install this, and we're going to call this project done. Alright, so I connected the lines, and I put some fluid in. It doesn't appear that there's any leaking out, so I'm going to pop it into position. Once it passes this little thingamajiggy, it's good. And I can add some more fluid once she starts it up, but I dropped the cap. Down here. So she's going to get some barbecue tongs, and hopefully I can fish it out. It's in there. Slowly turn the wheel to the right and left. Now in the middle, steer it back in the middle. Yellow middle. The other way. Good, turn it off.
I didn't know which way I had it.
Right, so it seems to be holding for now. Hopefully it'll hold for good. If not, we might have to try Flex Seal before we go on eBay and spend $110 for a $20, $25 part. Who knows? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, think about subscribing to Access Garage. Drop a comment in the comment sections below. And as always, thanks for watching.